doesn't understand, but yet he agrees and appreciates where we're coming from.
And you know something, Jen? He never will until he goes outside and starts checking this stuff for himself. Instead of just copy-paste from the computer, go outside and if you find out someone's doing a laser test, go and do it. If someone's doing a flash test, mirror test, go and do it. Go and buy yourself a light meter. Do your own readings, mate. Once you start doing this stuff for yourself and you see that the stuff that you've been force-fed doesn't line up with reality, then you'll wake up. Then you'll understand.
Yeah, and you don't really have to buy the equipment as well, although it's a good thing because you own it for yourself. But you can rent it off people, and there are people who have bought the equipment and they're not using it, so you can tap into their equipment and leave them a little drink money and go and use it and give it back. You know, there's so many easy ways. It's unbelievable. Yeah, thanks, Matrix. That was good. Good point.
Yeah. Can I speak to that?
Yeah, you go ahead.
So you make it sound, and again, I'm not trying to be offensive, but you make it sound as though it's very easy. Anybody can do it. Mm-hmm. So why are so many people just completely convinced of the opposite?
I don't know. Yes. Your teammates.
Jedi told you that. But Jedi told you that just now, didn't he? Jedi. He just explained it to you.
Well, and like I said, I'm not trying to argue. I'm genuinely trying to understand here. I'm not trying to...
Sorry to interrupt. Do you understand what I mean by anchor bias?
No.
Okay, so an anchoring idea, kind of like a first thought that we have, especially like when we're children. We get our first impressions of the world, for example. That would be like an anchor to our subconscious, right? So when we're educated that the Earth is a sphere, for example, we have that anchoring as to regards what our reality is. And we get that from a trust of authority as well, right? So as we move forward with our lives, when we come to the challenge that people are saying the Earth is flat, we have this cognitive bias and anchoring towards our first thought where we think that these people are talking outside of the common understanding. So we kind of subconsciously just dismiss it straight away. It's not what we know. It's outside of the realms of what we think is possible due to our anchoring bias.
I completely agree with that, yeah.
So...
But I guess my question is like, it's provable, right? It's not just speculation. It's something you can go out, you can rent this equipment. It doesn't cost a whole lot. So why are so many people convinced? You know, it's, and I don't want to be offensive. I'm not trying to upset anybody, but it seems like there must be some sort of conspiracy here. It seems like there must be a higher, some sort of authority.
It gained enough momentum, right, and became popular, so popular that now it's deeply ingrained into our society, even into sub-religions, like other religions, where they forfeited their previously held views and knelt down to the so-called great authority of the men that can go into the sky and stuff like that, right? So it's really just so deeply ingrained that now the majority share that stance that Jedi just described to you, that anchor bias. So it's going to be tough trying to get people to realize that reality is just as they observe and experience. It's going to be tough.
Take something simple like tradition. Like, there's many different cultures around the world that have different types of tradition. When they come in contact with another culture that has a different tradition, there's a clash. Now, these traditions might be completely subjective, like traditions, right? That don't have any real bearing in reality, but because of the way the tradition goes, then when they meet this other tradition, there's a conflict. It's the same kind of thing with cosmology, right? The Earth being a ball, the Earth being flat. There's two different ideas that when they meet, they clash.
Yeah, I can understand that. I guess my question is, like, I feel like, gosh, it's hard to put it into words, I apologize. I feel like the the flat Earth community has been put in a very difficult position by, people on social media and the regular media and whatever. I'm not super interested in trying to debate whether or not the Earth is flat. I'm more interested in learning about the conditions that would convince so many people of a false reality when it's so easily disprovable, Like, okay, so you can prove the nature of the Earth, you can prove the geometry or whatever you want to call it. How do you convince so many people when this technology is easily available that everybody, basically anyone, can access it?
Sorry.
Well, what's holding you back?
Sorry. Yeah, it's not upon us to convince, it's upon the individual person to convince. And they've got to have the intention and the wherewithal to want to go and do this. I think our position in this is to question people's foregone conclusions and their beliefs, show them that there's an alternative way that you can most definitely demonstrate for yourself. But from that point onwards, it becomes their issue, because we're not going to convince anybody. People convince themselves.
I understand that. But my question is, where is the societal, the systematic failure that's leading people to the wrong conclusions?
Fucking apathy, probably.
Because it's like, I want to understand this. I'm not gonna lie, I don't agree with you guys.
Look, okay.
Like I said, I'm not here to argue.
I know. We know you're not. You've said it like 20 times. We get that now.
Okay.
You don't have to go there anymore, dude, right? But just take a cursory look around the world at the moment, right? Let's just say that everybody, compared to, say, 20, 30 years ago, has pretty much got their face buried in some kind of screen. The world today has become softer than it was. We're more interested in instantaneous gratification, right? The world around us has become quite apathetic to... Most people don't even give a shit about the night sky, my friend, or science, quote unquote. These are just things that they can scroll past on YouTube or they can see on a screen, right? If they want to watch a documentary, but they only need to watch the documentary, they don't need to go to the university. People have become lazy, right? We have these conversations all the time with people who come in here. Now people are not thinking for themselves. It's, hold on a second, I'll ask ChatGPT. Do you understand how lazy people have got?
Oh, absolutely.
So if people are not thinking for themselves, and you're, let's say, a controller, you've got people in the palm of your hand. Now, I don't know what the intention would be, but you just have to look at what's going on. People are apathetic. People just don't question. And if they do question, the first thing they go is to the authority. Now that's a robot AI.
Yeah.
Scary times, dude.
I totally get that. But I think the root of this goes back further than the technology. Like,
oh, yeah.
GPT's only, 5 years, 10 years old, maybe, at most.
Yeah. This is just the latest tool, of course.
So it's got to go back further than this.
Yeah.
And so the motivations have to go back further than this.
Okay, so what two groups of people have always controlled the world?
The rich people.
So we have those in authority, like governments now, kings and queens, and then we have the religious authority. There's two sides, the civil and the religious, right?
Okay.
Cool. We're always going to end up going back to religious ideas. How people view the world, theologies and stuff like that. Because ultimately, like we explained earlier, this is talking about how the earth got here. It's always going to end up in this kind of, like I said, theological argument. There's science that says you don't need intelligence to create, and there's the idea that you do need intelligence to create. So it goes back to these ideas, dude. Like we said earlier, it's the control of your mind and perception of what reality is. if people have that control, they get to control who you are and where you're going. They've had that control for so long now that people just either act like the sheepdogs and will herd everybody else back into position like good sheep should do, or they're just, like I said, Google AI and get the answers from a fucking robot. People don't question anymore. That's the point.
I get where you're coming from, because that's definitely an issue. I have something that might be not something you want to talk about. But isn't religion itself something that has been created by man?
Yes. So there's thousands, let's just pull a number out of our backside, of religions, man's ideas and doctrines about the nature of deities. There's loads of different ideas.
And aren't some of those, maybe a lot of those, created to control people?
Yes, 100%. See, again,
so where's the separation between what you've been talking about and...
Because man's ideas about the wills of a deity have got absolutely nothing to do with the question of intelligence creates. Now, intelligence, people are going to call that creator a god. Now, the religion idea comes after that. The wills, thoughts, and motivations of that deity. Those are man's ideas, for example. You can look at multiple religions around the world. But the idea comes from the theological question of how the hell did we all get here? Did intelligence create us, or did we just spring into existence for no apparent reason?
Right. And that's like the oldest question.
Yeah, of course it is. So it's always been a spiritual battle. It's been a battle for your mind.
I know that speculation is not really something that you guys do here, but I'm very interested in the speculation. If that's something you guys do.
I mean, you know that we generally don't like to speculate.
I know. That's why I'm asking. I know you guys don't like to speculate, and I can appreciate the reasoning behind that. But it seems to me
are warranted. Sorry,
right? Exactly. Like speculation, there is some root in speculation. Like, I know there's always going to be people that disagree. It's not always going to be, this clean, happy, whatever. But I feel like it's important to air some of the speculation. That's really what I'm here for.
Yeah, I know. It depends what your question is going to be about, because there are some things that we could speculate about, but there would be no point. Like for example, if you were to ask me what the sun is, I mean, what's the point of me even speculating about that? I'm never going to know. You're never going to know, right?
No, that's fair. Yeah. My speculations would be more earthly.
Would they be more social?
Yeah. Human focused, I guess.
Yeah, sociological aspect, yeah. Pretty much the same type of question you've had for the last half an hour. Right.
Exactly, yes.
I get you. I do.
No, I mean, it's difficult for me to put all of this together,
Mate, let's say, for example, myself, I've been doing this since 2015. I don't know everything. I've been trying to put it together, and people come into the server and like yourself and like, well, how do I put it together? I'm still trying to put it together, mate. I don't know all the bloody answers. The conclusion from the measurement is the Earth is flat. Everything about the sociological aspect, mate, I'm still trying to get my head around, like I said.
Right, so let's speculate a little bit. Let's try and come up with some answers. They don't have to be right, but I just need to have some wall to bounce the ideas off,
Well, maybe the best day for you is Sunday, then, when you actually do speculate for 24 hours.
Oh, I've speculated more than 24 hours.
Yeah, I know. I get you.
Yeah. No, and I appreciate you guys when it's calm like this. I do appreciate it, because I know it can get a little crazy in here.
Yeah, man.
But I have so many questions, and I feel like a lot of the questions they spark these discussions, they get out of hand, and people get upset on both sides. Like, and I just, I'd like to have an environment where people can speculate, just ask questions, and it just without everybody getting angry, because I feel like that's the biggest thing is like you go back to this idea that the whole idea, the whole reason that shit that they divide us like this is so we won't ask questions, we won't talk with each other, we want to argue with each other instead of talking with each other.
Divide and conquer.
Yeah, like, and it's difficult for me to come in here because I feel like every time I come in here, it's not talking, it's about arguing, and half of that's on me. So, but I want to learn, but
Well,
I know how
like
you
I,
feel.
like I was saying earlier, if you want to learn, you have to start at the basics, dude.
right.
Why we say the Earth is flat, for example, we have to start there.
Why? I think I know why you think. Sorry, why you say
No.
the Earth is flat. I think I think I do understand, because there are measurements, there are empirical studies, observations, experiments you can make.
Okay, so being as you've seen them and you've had the conversations with us, I think the question needs to be asked is, why are you focused on the sociological aspect when you yourself are now part of that, let's say, dynamic, where you yourself have come in and been presented with evidence that at the moment you're doing your very best to turn away from and ask other questions.
Yeah.
You're asking me and ask the questions that pretty much you're demonstrating the answer. You yourself have got the answer with this. Why are you not looking at the measurements that show that the Earth is flat? Why are you turning around to us and saying, well, I think I've got a grasp on why you say that the Earth is flat, but I'm interested in the sociological aspect. Why would they lie? Dude, you're part of this demonstration right now.
That's entirely fair. I believe what I do because I think the data that I have access to, the experiments, the measurements, I think it all substantiates the things that I believe.
Yeah, and up until 10 years ago, I would have said probably something similar. I guess it then comes to these things that you've got. Have you critically analysed them? Have you gone through them? Are you sure that you haven't been hoodwinked?
I'm fairly sure, yeah.
Fairly sure. So what have you done to confirm these things that you've got?
Oh, it's my job.
It's your job. What do you do? I feel like I know, but please remind me what you do for a living, mate. If you want to. If you don't want to dox yourself, then I'll live with that. That's fine.
No, that's fair. No, I work for the government, the United States government. My job is to analyze remote sensing data from platforms that have been put up into space, and nothing I've seen has discouraged me from believing what I believe in.
Okay. Now I'm going to want to question you on this, but would you allow that?
Go ahead.
How do you know that these things are where they are, or where they say that they are?
Oh, there's a certain amount of faith, right? But what they send back, these platforms, what they send back matches up to what they should send back, right?
What do you mean by that? Do they send back curvature?
Well, you would expect you have certain expectations, right? Say, the Earth has this certain geometry, this certain whatever. And if it doesn't match up with your expectations, then you can't do your work.
Cool.
So
you get information from high altitude platforms, and the information you get back shows you that the Earth is a sphere. Do those high altitude platforms show a rotation around the sphere?
they do, yeah.
They do, so there's a change in pitch, orientation of the platform.
Yeah, I mean,
is there any possible chance you could show me that?
not off the top of my head. I mean,
yeah, of course. Maybe I don't expect you to say off the top of your head. I'm actually asking for like the data, and I don't expect you to have that right now. But say if I gave you a week or 2 weeks, is there any chance that you could come back here and give me the pitch data from a satellite? The orientation to do with the gyros. They'd have gyros in them, right? So they know their orientation. That's the information I'd be interested in, because I have the information from aircraft. I'll be interested in the information from a satellite.
Sure.
Awesome
so
stuff.
I work quite a lot with it's a joint United States and European endeavor.
Awesome.
The satellite, every image that it sends, it has an azimuth on it, and it has the sort of the orientation of the satellite.
Awesome. And that, I mean, you can have an orientation of a satellite depending on, say, which way you're facing. It could be angled up a little bit, but I'm looking for the rotation. Let's say it's an orbital satellite and takes, for example, 24 hours to complete one rotation. I'm pulling the number out my arse, dude. It's obviously not 24 hours, it's probably shorter. But I'd want to see the rotation of 360 degrees around the center of radius.
So, to my understanding, to my experience at least, it's something that's reported because it's a known number. It doesn't change. So typically, when a satellite publishes data, they just publish whatever the rotation, the angle, all that shit. Just publish it. So it's not something that's reported alongside the data.
Yeah, I understand. I'd just be interested to see it.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you really want, I'll look for it, but...
Like I said, dude, I don't expect it now, today, or anything like that. Please, in your own time, right, if you come across it or you have the gumption to find it for us, I'd be grateful and I'd love to see it.
I appreciate that.
Cool, awesome stuff. Right, I'm going to have to go and make some lunch because my stomach is rumbling. But I won't be far away. Give me about 10, 15 minutes, I'll be back. Really good talking with you, mate. Thank you.
Word up.
Word.
Word.
Word. Word of
Yeah,
God.
so I don't know. I don't really care about arguing the shape of the Earth. I know that's what primarily goes on in this channel. I'm more interested in just hearing the why, the how story. Because I feel like arguing the science of it, most people already have that figured out for themselves. So what's the point in arguing numbers and figures and shit? Like, they're lying to us, right? So why are they lying to us? What are the mechanisms that they're lying to us? What is the purpose of lying to us?
The purpose of lying is to not tell the truth.
Sorry, bro.
I think the purpose comes down to control.
Well, that's that seems to be a general. What seems to be the general answer is control. But like, what's the mechanisms of this control? Like,
Well, it's an irrational fear of being controlled, of not having control of your life.
but how does the shape of the Earth factor into that? Right? Like,
This was
the
answered
shape
earlier.
of the Earth
Are
doesn't
your ears
matter.
painted on?
Sorry.
Are your ears painted on?
Oh, not last time I checked.
Excellent, because I'm quite certain that about, I don't know, half an hour ago, this was already answered.
Well, I apologize. I'm sorry, man.
I wasn't there for that, but I've debated flat earthers. For
Excellent.
fun.
So you can come back on Sunday, Speculation Sunday, speculate all you like. Why people lie? Look inside chat. There's a whole list of why people lie. Pick your favourite one. Don't care.
So there's no answer for it?
Chardsy, can you read one off for me? My hands are
Sure.
tied. I would do it myself, but my hands are tied.
What am I reading off?
You're reading off one of the reasons that this guy is mentioning. I'm sure he doesn't want to mention himself, but
how do I read it?
All right. Take what is not rightfully theirs. Escape accountability. Create a fantasy. Stroke false self-esteem to escape reality. Avoid punishment. Inflict pain. Feel better in the moment. Steal admiration. Gain an advantage to exploit others. There you go. There's 7.
Can I address one of those?
Yeah, that was a lot. I have ADHD.
Okay. So
one was
take what is not rightfully theirs. Number 1.
One was to inflict pain.
No, I'm literally reading off the list. Right, number 1. Take what is not rightfully theirs.
Okay, can we just do that one? Then?
Wait, where's this list from?
In the side chat.
No. But what is this? Where is it from?
I think it just comes from the community.
Can't read what's in the bottom.
Inflict pain.
Asked why.
I don't want to inflict pain.
Oh God.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just asking. Where does this? What is this?
No.
Okay, let's do it the easy way. Chardsy, I want you to bring up a list now of all the possible reasons why people lie. Why do you think people lie? Number 1.
To take what is not rightfully theirs.
Okay, that's 1. Why else do people lie?
To escape accountability.
No. I didn't ask you to read the list. I want you to give us reasons why people lie.
Chardsy, do you mind if I engage?
In your lifetime, why have people lied to you? For what reason? Why have they lied to you?
Oh, lots of reasons. I don't think you could put it on a list like this.
So we have all the reasons why someone would lie. Let's just assume so.
Right.
No.
How do we know?
Just be quiet for a second. Chardsy,
Okay.
What are some of the reasons that people have lied to you in your lifetime? Why did they lie to you?
I think this one that was posted in chat, I think it's pretty good.
Don't worry about that one. We're talking about Chardsy now. You wanted to know why people lie. So I'm asking you, in your lifetime, surely someone's lied to you. What was the reasons why they lied to you?
But I'm asking
because they're liars.
They are liars.
They are liars. Who are they again?
I'm asking about this specific topic, right? I'm not talking about in general.
Yeah, so am I.
Me too.
People lie for whatever reason, Chardsy.
Are we talking about the 24/7 flat Earth in here?
Oh my goodness, she is a social.
This is actually the Hello Kitty Island Adventure chat.
Oh my god, I used to play Hello Kitty a lot. The Adventure Island.
This is going to get boring really fast.
Okay, sorry, I don't want to derail.
Oh, you don't like that? Okay, we could talk about 24/7 flat Earth.
Awesome stuff. What brings you here?
24/7 flat Earth.
What do you want to know about 20? Right, everyone else.
Well, I think it's definitely 24/7 round Earth, but
you think it's a 24/7 round Earth?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why?
Well, it's just my opinion, honestly, and I think that's what counts.
So you think it's subjective?
Yeah, everything
is.
Okay,
so you think that an apple is only an apple because you want it to be an apple that day?
Yes, exactly. Just like how you could change your pronouns.
You should probably not be in this conversation. Sorry to upset you.
No, I'm an intellect, I swear.
No, you're not.
I like this girl.
Really? You're
yeah, she's
crazy,
funny. She's funny.
Okay.
Come on.
I'm not funny.
Okay, so why would somebody lie about
because they're liars?
Specifically?
Well, right. But that's the question, right? Is like, so we said that we're not in speculation Sunday or Saturday or whatever, but we don't want to get into the reasons speculating about why people would lie. So are we speculating? Are we not speculating?
No,
What's
we're not
the deal
here? We're not speculating. We're talking to new people that have got questions. You've had enough platform time, dude.
That's
be a little
fair.
bit more socially aware. There's been at least 2 other people who've tried to jump into the conversation. You've just kind of walked straight past them.
It's okay, Chardsy. I know you meant well.
Oh,
thanks,
yeah.
bro.
I love Charlie D'Amelio.
Yeah, Charlie's pretty cool.
I don't know who that is, but
So basically, they were TikTok famous for a while, and then
Matrix.
Yeah, great. Hey guys, this is how it's going to work. If you want to have a conversation about some other random shit, please go to another channel. If you choose not to listen to that, I might be forced to get the naughty button out and start expunging people.
Okay, but I have a question.
Excellent. Please.
Okay, so like, why are you laughing at me?
I'm pre-laughing at whatever you're going to say next. I'm getting it out the way so that I can.
Yeah, because you've said everybody else to already know that whatever you say next is going to be stupid. So let it cook.
No, it's not going to be stupid. It's going to be hilarious.
Listen, she's just a goofy goober.
Jezebel, can I have some of whatever it is you took?
Matrix, where's that button, dude?
I muted the 2 dickheads. Go ahead.
Hey,
Am I muted?
You were going to ask a question, Skell.
I was going to ask a question. Who are they?
Correct.
Who's that again?
It's Skelly.
Right, that's who I meant to mute. Whoops. Okay, we'll put you on mute and take her off. Good. All right, go ahead, Jezebel.
So why do you think the Earth is like flat?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
Okay, so we think the Earth is flat because it measures that way. Now, you understand that we're told 70% of the surface of the Earth is like water, right? The oceans.
Here, let me Google this fast.
Okay, how much of the surface of the Earth is water? Google that.
70%.
Awesome stuff. So we're told 70% of the surface of the Earth is water. Now, when we look at water, when we measure water, and when we practically use water, we observe it, measure it, and use it as horizontal. So water, the surface of the Earth, is measured to be horizontal. Now, the main constituent part of a sphere is the surface is curved. That's a curved line. A horizontal line is a straight line. So when we measure the surface of the Earth, it measures to be horizontal. That means it can't be a sphere.
Okay, so ChatGPT argues the horizon appears flat because the Earth is so big that the curvature is subtle over short distances.
Excuse me, young lady, why have you already thrown your brain to a computer? Have you never watched a dystopian movie before?
Yes, I have. I watched Hunger Games.
So why are you doing it then?
Because I'm telling you, like, the real facts and the real evidence and the real logic.
No, you've gone to a robot to tell you.
Logical inconsistencies, that's what I'm trying to say now.
Logical inconsistencies. Okay, I'll tell you what, I'll humour you. Tell me what ChatGPT says about the horizon.
Oh, okay, sure. So, planes fly over the curve. Flight paths and GPS navigation literally account for Earth's curvature. Otherwise, pilots would fly into space or crash.
Awesome stuff. Now, that's a claim.
Yes.
Do you think GPT will be able to give you the evidence of that claim?
Mm-hmm.
I.e., would they be able to give you the pitch data from an aircraft that's within the black box?
I could also get a picture of the Earth from AI if you want.
No, I don't want the picture from AI. I want the evidence that backs up what AI said.
Okay. 1 sec.
Do you think you can get that?
Yes. Give me evidence.
Give me evidence. Help.
There are many images, supposedly, of the Earth from orbit.
Not at the moment. I'm not interested in images. I'm interested in the pitch data from the aircraft.
Okay.
Because ChatGPT says that it negotiates curvature.
So basically, there's a line.
There's a line.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, what are you talking about?
1 sec.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you?
No, I'm just reading something. Wait. I'm sending evidence in chat.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, I do.
No, you've got what ChatGPT says.
Yes, exactly.
So that's not you, is it? That's a computer, isn't it?
Okay, but I am the computer. I'm controlling
it. Me and you are going to get off onto a really bad foot if you actually act like an 8-year-old little girl. It's not going to work here. So you can either, I don't know,
okay, I'm sorry. I'll argue with my own intellect.
Yeah, go and argue in the mirror.
Okay.
Bye.
All right, buddy.
I'm sorry.
Well, think about it yourself. You literally just gave all of your cognitive thought to a bloody AI.
Why isn't there a 24/7 like round Earth chat?
Because it's stupid and nobody cares.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we cleared that up.
Okay.
Who was the other guy with the question?
It was me.
Hello, mate. What do you want?
What do I call you?
You can call me Jedi if you want.
Hey, Jedi. I'm a big Star Wars fan myself. Who are they, and the they that are lying to us about?
Yeah, good question, mate. I don't know. That's one of the questions that we ask when people ask us, why would they lie? We ask them, well, who are they then? Because, again, this is going to be speculation. I don't know who they are. Let's say NASA, are they lying to us? Well, I can probably guarantee that, I know, a high percentage of them just believe that the Earth is a sphere, and they're just going along with it because, like everybody else, it's what we got taught. But they're not necessarily lying to anybody, like the teachers aren't lying to me because they believe this to be true. It's just passing on the, let's say, tradition. But who are they? I don't know who they are, mate. We can go back in history to find out when the heliocentric moon calculator was invented, which is pretty much what we have today, and that comes from the Roman Catholic Church. So we'll end up going back into religious ideas. So they might be religious.
So it's a lie coming from I don't know who, right?
Well, I've just pointed out it's the Roman Catholic Church that gave us the moon calculator, which is the heliocentric model, basically. So I didn't say I didn't know. I just pointed at a particular institution. Did I not make that clear?
You were kind of muffled, so it was kind of hard to understand.
I do apologise, my friend. Am I any better now?
A little bit. Say that last bit again.
The moon calculator, the globe Earth model, the heliocentric idea, comes from the Roman Catholic Church.
Okay.
So it's a religious idea.
That was who was that? That I think I'm trying to remember the name of the person.
Copernicus?
It was the guy. Say again.
Copernicus.
Galileo.
Wait, I don't think that's necessarily correct. Didn't they jail the person who was trying to say the Earth wasn't?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to remember. That guy's name. Cause he was a Catholic. No. This guy was a Catholic, and he was eventually seen as a heretic because of his
Roman Catholic. the Roman Catholic Church asked him to come up with a moon calculator. Now, the way that he devised it, to the average everyday Catholic person, would have thrown him in the brig, right? Because the average everyday person wouldn't have gone along with this idea being that the Earth was a sphere. But it was the Roman Catholic Church that asked him to do it.
Right. So it seems to me that this guy was asked to do a job, and that job led him to discover something.
No,
if you're tracking the moon,
no, yeah,
you're going to see where the moon is going, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna start see round Earth like movement in the moon, right? So like the moon going behind the Earth, and then coming back, back around.
Do you think that we tracked the stars before the 1600s? Do you think we could predict where the moon was going to be and when eclipses were going to happen?
We did. That was how we got around. Was looking at the stars and tracking them. That's why we have constellations that comes, and it's the same constellations too. We found that different cultures on different parts of the Earth, they saw the same star constellations, obviously in different places. Yeah, and they gave them their own stories because they were the brightest stars.
Awesome stuff, and all of these were measured from a horizontal plane. The predictions aren't predictions, they're postdictions, because like you said, the constellations do the same thing, the moon does the same thing. Eventually they're going to repeat this pattern. So the repeating patterns in the sky, they're measured from a horizontal. There was just another idea based on a celestial sphere, which is basically the dome of the sky above you, literally you standing on the inside of a protractor. This idea where you were also in motion around the sun could give you the same type of prediction. The same sort of thing where you could have the Earth at the centre of the of the universe and the sun and everything going around the Earth. You can conceptualize this in many different ways. Now, being as you can come up with, say, 5 different models that all express the Earth and relationships to each other to be different, and which one's real? If they all do the same quote-unquote predicting power.
So the Roman Catholic Church is lying to us about the Earth's shape to control us.
I don't know, dude. I mean, we can go back and say the early 1920s when they came up with the Big Bang idea. That also comes from the Roman Catholic Church. I think his name's Monsignor Georges Lemaitre, 1921 or 29. I can't remember which one of those two numbers. But yeah, he came up with the Big Bang cosmology, where let's just disregard everything that was said in the Bible about the creation mythology, because we can look at it from a different aspect, where if we rewind time, everything exploded into existence. So that's from the Roman Catholic Church. You'd have to ask them why they want to come up with a narrative that's devoid of God or antithetical to the Bible, for example.
If I may ask quickly, just to clarify, sorry.
Go ahead.
If I may. Yeah, thank you. Hey, Jedi, wasn't that guy a Jesuit also?
Yeah.
Benny Jesuit?
Who's Georges Lemaitre from 1927?
So he was a Roman Catholic priest. He's the guy there's a few people who have conjured up, creation ideas, but he's the guy who kind of really first thought and got the ball into motion with regards to the Big Bang.
Yeah, he was the one who postulated the Big Bang theory. Okay.